So not that long ago, in September of 2023, Starfield came out, and it seemed like for the longest time, everybody was super excited about it. Everybody had these extremely high hopes. Bethesda made pretty big promises. Everyone was really hyped to see the first new type of game from Bethesda in like over a decade or whatever it was. And when it came out, everybody hated Starfield so much. Everybody was shitting on Bethesda so hard for it, and it was pretty clear that nobody thought that it met expectations at all. Personally, I've played the game for four and a half hours, about that, and not because I didn't like it. I thought it was okay. I just never got engaged with it. And thinking about it, I actually kind of want to give it a second chance, just because I spent like a fucking $100 on it. I kind of do want to give it a second chance. But anyways, yeah, Starfield, everybody fucking hated. And remembering the criticism that Starfield got, I just remember it being, a lot of it being just like incel retard rage, to put it lightly. I don't know any other better way to describe it. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of flaws and a lot of things bad about it. I'm not trying to say that Starfield was a flawless game. I'm not that stupid. However, what I do want to say is the whole people thinking that you could like take your ship, like hop into your ship and literally lift off the planet and like literally leave the atmosphere in real time. People also thinking that you could fly from planet to planet in real time. People also thinking that you could land on a planet and walk around the entire circumference in real time all at once. And people were super pissed about all of those things not being reality. But in hindsight, like, what the fuck were you thinking? It's a video game. We don't have the technology to do that in real life. That's so retarded. People really thought that you were going to be able to take off from a planet and not have it be a cutscene. I don't know what year you think this is, but like a video game, that's a very realistic expectation to set. It's very realistic to assume that you're gonna have a cutscene when you're going from a massive transition from a planetary environment, a city environment, to a fucking space vacuum environment. To say that you wouldn't have a cutscene for that, or you wouldn't have some kind of loading screen or some kind of cut of some kind, is just ignorant, honestly. The fact that you could assume that that would be the case is just stupid. And then the whole, you could walk, people wanted to walk around the entire circumference of a planet. Why? Why? Do you know how long it would take to walk from one side of the US to the other side of the US? It would probably take months. I don't know the real time. You know what, let me look it up actually. Let me look it up just to be accurate. According to Google, it would take 6 months to walk from one side of the US to the other side. And that's just the United States. That's just one of the, not even close to being the largest countries on the planet. Not let alone the entire planet. And that's not even considering like the scale of like planets in a video game. This is Earth. Earth is like a mid-sized planet, I feel like. A mid-sized terrestrial planet, of course. To assume that you could walk around, and like, of course, walking speed in a video game would be pretty much the same as walking speed in real life. Maybe a bit faster. Maybe it wouldn't be 6 months. Maybe it would be 4 or 3. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to walk around a desolate rock, or walk around the entire circumference of that? Why would you want to do that? People were so incredibly upset about not having that ability, but it's like, why would you want to do that? And also, people complaining about the desolate planets, yeah, I can kind of understand that. I think the main issue was people really, like, hoped Bethesda could make, people really hoped Bethesda could make, like, a very fleshed out galaxy with like infinite civilizations and shit. I think people's expectations were way too high. And I understand this video is supposed to be about the Elder Scrolls 6, so I'm getting to it. But the issue with Starfield, a lot of the issue was on Bethesda. Bethesda definitely overpromised, and they definitely made a lot of they made a flawed, hollow game. But I think a lot of the reason why everyone got so upset was also because they set unrealistic expectations, and they had unrealistic, like, milestones for Bethesda to meet. They had things that Bethesda could not physically do and make a game, like, within less than a fucking century. And they got upset when Bethesda couldn't meet that. And I think that's exactly what will happen to the Elder Scrolls 6 if it's not a perfect goddamn game. I feel like people, including myself, have very high expectations for a game that's been promised to come out in in 26, which is 1.5 decades. 1.5 decades, which is 15 years after the 5th game, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. 15 years in the making. People are gonna have very high expectations, including myself. But I think the sad reality is I'm pretty sure that what happened to Starfield might happen and probably will happen to the Elder Scrolls 6. As, you know, Bethesda kind of has a community of gamers who are very, very committed. Obviously, that's just the vocal minority. Obviously, there's like a lot of regular people. In fact, I would say mostly regular people who play Bethesda games. But on the internet, the vocal minority is really who makes the people who affect everything. And those people, without being too harsh, those people are kind of retarded. I think that's not a very uncontroversial thing to say. I think people will agree. People have such high expectations, and especially because Bethesda they already made big promises like everything's gonna be 16 times bigger. I think that is a very high expectation to set, because Skyrim was an incredibly massive game. Incredibly massive, to the point where you can't even comprehend. I've been playing this game since about 2014, about a decade now I've been playing this game, and I've barely figured everything out. I've barely experienced, I would say I've experienced 95% of the game. I mean, the game is so big that I don't think I will ever do everything. I would never complete every quest. I would never collect every unique item. I would never do everything. But I think I've experienced probably 90 to 95% of Skyrim after a decade. That's how big this fucking game is. And Bethesda's telling us it's gonna be 16 times. Come on now. 16 times Skyrim is like the definitive Elder Scrolls game. If they could make a game that's truly and utterly 16 times bigger than Skyrim in every way, with like an actual variety of voice actors and an actual like variety of like quests, like everything that's like, if it's actually 16 times bigger, there will never be an Elder Scrolls 7, because the Elder Scrolls 6 will be the last one that's needed. It will just be the best. It'll be like it'll be cemented as the magnum opus of Bethesda, I feel like. However, I do not know if that could happen. I mean, that's just one of the things Bethesda has said. I don't know, I'm not up to date on every promise they've made for this game, because believe it or not, I play other games. I know. But yeah, I do play other games, so I'm not up to date on everything they've said. But I would imagine they've made comparable promises to the ones they made about Starfield. And people really trust Bethesda, and they're really gonna hope that Bethesda makes the best game ever. And you know what? I hope they do. But I think you have to temper your expectations with a bit of reality. Otherwise, well, we're just gonna have another repeat. You know, the same thing that happened to Fallout 76, the same thing that happened to Starfield would likely happen to this next game, Elder Scrolls 6. But hey, I'm not a prophet. I don't know for sure. I just really hope 2026, I really hope it actually comes out in 2026. I might make a separate video talking about the release date, because in and of itself, that is content on its own. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. If you didn't enjoy, well, you can leave a dislike. It's awesome as always, and peace out.